Alright, so if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about buying a shop press. So I'm going to give you my overall thought of buying a shop press, if it's really worth it, or are you just going to be throwing your money away. Well, I've had this shop press, this is a 20-ton shop press, for about 3 years now, and I've got to say I actually love the shop press. It's helped me out in a bunch of difficult situations. I've used it to press Aeon bushings in and out. I've used it to press bearings on and off shafts. I've used it just to squeeze pieces of pipe flat or bend a few pieces of flat metal. So yeah, it's really came in handy around the shop for just doing little odds and ends things. Especially the bearings, the pushing on bearings on the shaft, that is kind of a must for this machine. This is what you'll need to do that, especially if you got really long like transmission shafts or rear axles out of a pickup truck or a Jeep, and you've got like almost 3 foot, you're going to have to shove a bearing down. This is a must-have for that. Now you will have to get special tools to do that kind of stuff with, you know, like add-ons onto this, but the shop press, just it with these two things, is coming really handy for me over the last 3 years since I've owned it. So let me give you a little walk around and just demonstrate how it actually works, which is not very difficult. A few things I've done, like the zip ties. When it came, it had a lot of movement in here. It still has some, just to kind of line it up. So I put some zip ties in here on both sides, just to kind of fill that gap in there, so there's not as much of a wobble in it. The wobble sometimes comes in handy because you can actually straighten the shaft up down here on your piece, which kind of helps. Then I actually put these little hooks up here. These plates come with little holes in them. So what I did is I had it so I can actually take the plate off if I need the full base here. I can take both plates off and just stick them up on their hooks and then get them out of the way. So, and it also comes in handy when you're having to move the deck lower or higher. It has some place to put these without having to sit them down on the floor and get dirt all over them, because usually they turn out to be really greasy and oily. Speaking of the deck, all it is these little slide pins. My camera keeps acting up on me. So it's got these little slide pins in it, and you'll just lift the deck up with one hand. I usually just put my hand down through, pick it up, pull the pin out, and move it down. And then you'll just have to go to the other side and pull the pin out, and then just let it slide down to whatever level you need. Also, it's got the oil plug here in case it wants to stop pumping. You might have to add some oil. My jack leaks from time to time, depending on how much pressure I've got on it. The seal up here is probably just, you know, since it's all made in China, you know, everything isn't perfect on it, but like some of the decent stuff from China, you can get it to do the job and speed up your process. And technically, you can take this jack off. Mine's got a holder here. Some of them just sit in to a slot, but mine's got 2 bolts front and back, so you can take it off right there. And you can actually use this as a regular bottle jack for heavy-duty equipment. I've actually used this to jack up a house, a whole bunch of other things. So, yeah, I'd have to say that I would definitely recommend getting one if you're going to be doing any kind of bushing or bearing repair. This is kind of a must-have for those kind of shops. Or if you're just a home mechanic and you want to have something to, if you're going to be getting a vehicle to tinker with, or you have a tractor or something, you might have to be pushing bearings and stuff onto shafts. Or this actually comes out really good to like straighten bent pieces of metal. I've used it to actually put curves in metal, bend metal out straight. So yeah, it's a pretty decent little machine. I've actually got mine on toasters, so, or little wheels, I don't know if it's called coasters or not, but you can actually roll it around the shop. So I can put it back in the corner, and if I need something out on the other end of the shop, I don't feel like walking back and forth to test fit something, I can roll it over there closer and do it right there at the project. So yeah, definitely recommend it. I'll try to find some links to this so you don't have to go searching for it. I'll put it in the description below. I might throw in an extra little bonus at the end here about these plates. You can actually use them to do 90-degree bends on small pieces of metal, and I'll show you my little thing that I made just for that. Alright, so in this next footage I'm going to speed up just a little bit so you don't have to sit there and watch it for minutes on end. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so I got this flat piece of steel here. It's about a 1/4 inch thick and it's all bent up. So I want to set it in between my 2 plates here on the press, and we're going to squeeze it down, and after a few times we should have a pretty flat piece of stock left over. So let me set it up here, and I'll bring it back. Alright, so I've got it now sandwiched in between the two plates and my jack, and we'll give it a few pumps, and you can just watch it straighten out there. I found something kind of interesting about these plates. You can actually use them to do 90-degree bends on small pieces of metal, and I'll show you my little thing that I made just for that. Alright, so I've got my two push plates here clamped together with a welding clamp, and then I've got this little piece that's welded to a pipe that slides up on this shaft of the pusher here, the press, and I've got this flat piece of metal steel welded to the pipe, and it's got also another piece of metal down here on the bottom that the shaft would push against. So we'll take this piece that we just straightened out, and we'll slide it through here, and we'll put a 90-degree bend. There we go. So it doesn't do a perfectly good 90, but I mean it's reasonable enough to work with. I could probably take, you can see, it's kind of just a gentle curve. I just got some of this flat stock, it's got this big flat edge on the bottom. If I took and put a nice edge on my piece there on the press, it would probably push down here a whole lot more precise and give me much more of a straight 90. But I mean this, you could work with that for doing a box or something like that. I mean there's a lot of things you'll need to have a 90 for, and some of the small stock. And you could probably do stuff even bigger with this. I mean twice this width, this is about 2 inches. And you could probably do up to almost a 4-inch stock. Something like this, you just have to extend this out to about 4 inches, and then you should be able to bend it. The plates put together is almost exactly the width of this, so almost 2 inches. Each one's, I think, there's about 1 inch thick, so both of them together are 2 inches. So yeah, that's just something I found out that was kind of interesting. It also does have this half circle in it, so if you made a half circle pusher, you could probably do little indents, little bitty circles and stuff like that. This is really meant for like holding axles and stuff, or something around that you're having to push down through. That's really what it's meant for, but I found that out, and it's came in handy a few times already. I only found this out a few weeks ago. So yeah, just a cool little trick you can use. These style blocks. They do have some that's just a flat block with just a notch like this, and you can still use those. But these big blocks are the best ones to use this kind of technique. Definitely recommend it. I'll try to find some links to this, so you won't have to go searching for it. I'll put it in the description below. Also, if you can give me a thumbs up, would be awesome. And consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos on things like this, just to make your workload easier and to speed up the projects.